Charles, it's something of an historic day because it's the first time we've ever parodied a serial, and you are in Norway with a very special guest, Geir from Document.no. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to Saturday with Charles.
Well, Jason, it's an honor to be here in Document HQ. The only other media HQ I've ever been in is Crowdsource the Truth HQ. And someday you'll come over here and see what they've got here. It's quite impressive. And we've got quite a show today to talk about this dunce in the White House and the developments that are coming so fast and so furiously that it's almost difficult to keep up.
Yeah.
It is.
It is, Geir. Welcome to the show, your first appearance on Crowdsource the Truth. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot. I'm honored to be here in Oslo with my good friend Charles now. And remember, Jason, we did meet in Oslo 3 years back. And I'm so happy to be on the show. I haven't watched them all, but we're at least we're doing some promotion for you every week, and hopefully this is also the start of even closer cooperation between the two HQs, don't you think?
I think that's a good idea, a capital idea. And actually what Geir meant to say is he's here with what's left of me after a very nice party last night.
I want to make sure that our viewers know they can follow Document by going to Document.no. I don't know if this is something that I've installed or if it's built into Google, but you can just switch it over to English and you can read the news as if it were published right here in the United States. I like the approach that you guys take, the no-nonsense approach to explaining things such as the Biden regime pushes funds from local banks into big banks that support Democrats. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, we've had Document.no has been on the air as a web magazine and paper for more than 20 years. We started TV back 3 years ago mainly, and we're still building up our shows. And lately we've also introduced the news site, Document.news, where you can see the shows with Charles and me, Document TV International. You can read some of the stories that we posted in Norwegian, translated into English. Some of them might have been written in English, especially for Document News. And we hope to have, as we gain more traction internationally, and since we're speaking to an American audience now, there's about as many Norwegians in the U.S. as you have Norwegians here in Norway, 4 or 5 million. We have, yeah. And one of our correspondents in Florida has spoken to Oslo Norway, and hopefully the word will spread, and we will catch some Danes and Swedes too, who can also then join and watch our Norwegian-speaking shows on Rumble and Odyssey. We were not yet gone to Crowdsource the Truth, but we definitely urge our viewers to watch you guys there.
Well, thank you for that. I do appreciate that. And we love Odyssey here. People can watch Document TV on odyssey.com/@document. And so for people who can't get enough of Charles, Document TV is yet another outlet where they can enjoy watching.
Well, it's very nice. I think, Geir, it'd be useful, at least to our audience, which is actually broader than American. We have lots of viewers from all over the world, many different countries. It's amazing when you look at the analytics that you can look at to see how powerful these different platforms have become. I think it would be useful to just explain a bit about the backgrounds of the people who are central to Document, so folks understand that it's veteran journalists, it's experienced people, experienced technicians, and you need not be quite so modest about the site. I think it's, if not the leading site in Norway.
It's a leading conservative website, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
And right now we're the only conservative website having our own TV shows daily. Our senior editor and the owner of Document is a veteran from the Norwegian news agency, from VG, the biggest Norwegian newspaper, a tabloid. And he started Document 20 years ago in February, I think. And also we have a senior editor at large in Spain, Mr. Alfred Jacobsen, who's he's a veteran journalist from Finnmark. And why am I mentioning Finnmark? Because that's next door to Russia. It's in the northernmost county of Norway. And he's been all over working as an investigative journalist. And actually for some years he was head of the documentary division of the Norwegian state broadcaster. And the Norwegian state broadcaster has a budget about 1,000 times bigger than ours. So he's joined forces with us. We have probably Norway's leading court reporter who goes to court and listens to all sorts of horrid stories that Norwegians don't want to hear about or are not allowed to hear about because the MSM don't go there anymore, or hardly. And to give you an example, I mean, when MSM of Norway writes that a church in southern Norway was set on fire last night by a guy, 45-year-old guy from the area. Well, if you read this in any Norwegian newspaper or in the big MSM newspapers, or you hear it on the national TV, you'll think, okay, there's some stupid guy who wanted to light up a church. Well, thanks to our viewers, readers, we learned that this guy was not from the next door town. He was an asylum seeker from South Sudan who was pissed off at Norway and the way we treat Muslims here.
Wow.
Which is, yeah.
Well, you know, Geir, I presume you already know this, but I was a little bit surprised to learn just a minute ago when I was bringing up some information about Document, just looking, you know, you were talking to us about the history, how Hans founded the independent news station, and it's disappointing but not surprising to see that Wikipedia is smearing you guys as Islamophobic. I mean, you've just raised a fact-based, kind of important point that somebody who is an immigrant into your country is creating violence because he's dissatisfied with the immigration policies. Sounds similar to stories we've heard in the United States, but this reads to me like an unfair review of your company here by Wikipedia. What do you think about this?
No, we were well aware of it, and we've given up trying to correct that listing, but in vain, because the leftist mafia is so much more powerful, and in particular on Wikipedia, that we disregarded them. I mean, and we try to tell our readers, and I try, when I link to, I want to explain where is Kano, or where is this and that city, or that particular person. I try to use either Encyclopedia Britannica or a more impartial Norwegian encyclopedia. Yeah. Also for your viewers, I speak Arabic.
Wow.
I've been working as a refugee counselor for 5 years altogether. I have a bunch of friends all over the Middle East. I have a bunch of friends, former clients of mine, who knows that what we are writing is the truth. It's not some hashed out patronizing thing that the foreigners cannot stand up for themselves and are all victims. There are victims, but the worst criminal in this story, besides the fact that, besides the guys who light up in churches and hurt people, is our system. Our system is so screwed that you won't believe it.
Yeah. Well, I think I will believe it, and I know that Crowdsource the Truth viewers will believe it, because we're experiencing similar things here in the United States, and we're just a few minutes away from our sponsor exclusive segment that people are going to be able to join us for on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth, patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth, odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, and on crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com. Now, Geir, I know that you know that Charles is going to be starting his Substack very soon. People can follow that at charlesortel.substack.com. But when we do go over to the First Amendment Forum, we're going to be talking a bit about some really troubling developments that are coming about just this morning here in the United States. Donald Trump has just put out a message on Truth Social anticipating that he will be arrested on Tuesday. We've had some other indications that that might occur. The irony is, this is all coming from a state charge here from Letitia James. I've got her pictured on this cereal box of unlucky charms. People outside of the United States might not recognize the New York State Attorney General. This is an individual who ran for Attorney General and was going to run for governor of New York, basically on a platform that she's going to put Donald Trump in jail. She didn't cite a specific crime at that time, just her dedication to making sure that the former president was incarcerated. Meanwhile, we've simultaneously got a litany of individuals, lawyers, attorneys general, elsewhere, saying that it's totally fine for Hunter Biden to smoke crack and have sex with hookers all over the world while he's leaving laptops hither and yon, receiving millions of dollars from Chinese energy companies, Ukrainian energy companies. Nobody finds this remotely worthy of an investigation, but Donald Trump, based on allegations of some sort of sexual relationship with a porn star, is now going to be arrested. What do you guys think about this, and what can people expect to hear in the First Amendment Forum?
Well, I'll jump in a little bit. I think it's yet another sign that one of the distinctive good aspects of the United States of America was that there was rule of law and the impartial and nonpartisan administration of justice. We're descending into hell. I mean, it's not like this is happening in the fairest part of America. New York City is a shadow of what it used to be. New York State's even worse. And this Letitia James only seems to go after Republicans. She's not really addressing the BLM fraud or the Clinton Foundation fraud, which occurs right in New York City and across New York State. She's not doing anything about that, but she's going to relentlessly pound Donald Trump. And I think we'll go back and forth about whether this approach is actually going to hurt Trump or may actually inflame his supporters positively. So this actually may be yet another stupid move on the part of the Democrats. We'll see how it plays.
I concur.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting into some pretty complicated stuff here because, we've had law professor Jonathan Turley weigh in on this, on really the technical details of how this indictment is problematic from a standpoint of U.S. law. I mean, again, we've got all these rules about double jeopardy. This is something that was investigated quite a while ago, and I'm not relying on that as the sole reason why it shouldn't continue to be investigated. It just seems like the evidence is so tenuous and the drive to get Trump so obvious. Meanwhile, New York City deteriorates and state deteriorates, as Charles has reminded us repeatedly, and so have I. It's a hellhole over here. Letitia James is going to host a drag story hour for kids. I think this might be happening today, actually, or tomorrow. She's very busy, exposing children to, whether they're men or women, in underwear and dancing around like strippers. It just doesn't seem like it's appropriate for children, whatever the gender or whatever it is of the people doing the dancing. But I don't know. Why do people want to expose children to people in bras with crazy makeup reading stories? It just seems confusing to kids. But it's tomorrow. So this is what Letitia James is occupying her time with. We've got just a few seconds left before we head over to the First Amendment Forum. Anything you guys would like to say to our viewers while you're there in Oslo?
Well, I could jump in and just say, yesterday we did a great show, and also I was asked to try to do an advertisement where I reminded the Document viewership that it's actually a lot more dangerous to come to New York and possibly become a crime victim than it is to watch the Document weekly show and the Crowdsource the Truth shows, where we explain to people what's really going on. We go and walk around so you see what's going on. And if you can get into our library of shows, you'll see, particularly in the pandemic, you can watch the steep expert ski slope descent into hell that's occurring in New York City and in actually many other parts of the Northeast in America. It's so sad. So watch these shows and stay safe instead.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Charles. And Geir, we will see both of you guys in the First Amendment Forum in just a few minutes. Stay with us, everybody.